to Gokul Global University e-learning. Our today's topic is AC voltage controller, which falls within the subject power electronics too. As you know, friends, what is the application of AC voltage controller? You might have observed that in certain application, industrial as well as domestic application, we require a voltage of some high or some low amplitude, and thus in period days we are doing by means of conventional method, but with the help of power electronics device we can control the voltage level higher or lower, or variable voltage at load terminal we can achieve. Now, which are the which device it employ? AC voltage controller either uses IGBT, thyristor and other power electronic switches. If the AC voltage controller will efficiently convert the AC voltage to another mode of AC voltage, or AC to AC converter, it also called. In this AC voltage controller we can change the amplitude, but we cannot change the frequency of your output voltage. So we can in simple words say that AC voltage controller are thyristor based device which converts fixed alternating voltage to variable alternating voltage without a change in frequency. Since AC voltage controller are phase control devices, thyristor and triacs are line commutated. So what is the meaning of line commutated? So we need not to employ a commutation circuits within the AC voltage controller, as they are phase controlled and line commutated devices. The main disadvantages of AC voltage controller is that introduction of objectionable harmonics, that is common for all the power electronics devices. Okay, the main disadvantages of AC voltage controller is the introduction of objectionable harmonics in the supply current and load voltage waveform, particularly at reduced output voltage levels. What are the applications? Domestic and industrial heating, transformer tape changing, lighting control, speed control of single phase and three phase AC drives, starting of induction motors. AC voltage controls are adaptable for closed loop control systems. We can use and compatible with the closed loop systems. In automations we are also using that. What are the control strategy of AC voltage controller? Guys, there are two main control strategy are used to control the power flow in AC voltage regulator or controllers. Number one, phase control, and two, integral cycle control. So what we exactly doing in phase control? The switching device is operated that load gets connected to AC source for a part of each cycle of the input voltage. For a particular instant of time we are turning on the switch. The switching device is operated that the load gets connected to AC source for a part of each cycle of the input voltage, while for the another part we are turning off the switch. Now in integral cycle control, what happen? The switching on the supply to the load for an integral number of cycles. Suppose the n number of cycles we are turning on the switch, and for a certain m number of cycle we are making it off. Again for certain n number of cycle we are turning it on. So switching on the supply to the load for integral number of cycles and switching off the supply of a further number of integral cycles. Now you might observe single phase AC voltage controller with R load. You can see here what is the construction of this phase AC voltage controller. So you can see here we have given AC supply, we have the resistive load at load terminals. In between load to source we have employed anti-parallel thyristor, pair of thyristor T1 and T2. We are making gate signal to T1 and T2. You can see in the waveform that the supply voltage we have given it is sinusoidal. You can observe in waveforms. Then at certain firing angle alpha we have turning on the thyristor T1. T2 will not conduct due to the T2 will be in the reverse bias. So while we are turning on T1, the waveform will be look like this. It will be turn on at certain angle alpha, and again it will close to pi. Again in reverse cycle what happen? The T2 will conduct, because in reverse cycle we are considering then the T2 will be positive and forward bias, while the T1 will be in the reverse bias. So again T2 will turn on something angle pi plus alpha, but in the reverse direction. You can observe in waveform. Again it will become 0 at 2 pi. Again the T1 will conduct at a 2 pi plus some angle alpha, and so on. So the output voltage is, you can see, and due to the presence of resistive load only, we can say that the output current waveform will also be identical to the waveform of output voltage. So what is the voltage elapsed between the thyristor conduction? It will called as a thyristor voltage. It is given by VT1. In diagram you can observe it. And when the VT1 is conduct, the VT2 will be in the reverse. Okay, and the final waveform you can see. So this is a single phase AC voltage controller with R load. Now how it is controlled? Can you examine? What was our purpose? Our purpose was to vary the amplitude. It means average voltage or average current. We have to vary average voltage or average current of the waveform. So while we have applied a full voltage, we have observed here some reduced voltage due to the firing angle at a certain period. So the total energy within the cycle or within the single full cycle will be somehow less than the initial voltage or initial applied voltage. So this is the purpose of AC voltage controller, what we have examined. Okay, this is what we have discussed. In the range 0 to alpha, a thyristor is in blocking state and all the source voltage will appear across the thyristor. When T1 is fired at alpha, it goes into the conducting state and the source voltage transfer to the load from the thyristor. For alpha less than omega t less than 180 degree, thyristor conducts the load current which is in phase with the source voltage. At omega t is equal to pi or 180, thyristor T1 stop conducting within the range of firing angle 0 to pi plus alpha. Converter is again in blocking state. The source voltage appears across the thyristor at pi plus alpha. T2 is fired and it conducts till 360 or 2 pi, we can say. At 2 pi, T2 stop conducting. Load power can be varied by changing alpha over the full range from 0 to 180 degree. Why the gate signal is required? Because it depends upon the nature of output load or the requirement of load. If the load requires more current or more voltage at output terminal, we have to make the alpha as smaller as possible. But when the load requires a less amount of output voltage or current, then we can vary the alpha, or we can increase the alpha. So in half wave controller, a pulse signal is enough to trigger the thyristor, whereas in a full wave controller with RL load, a pulse signal is not enough. Okay, in a half wave controller, a pulse signal is enough to trigger the thyristor, because the thyristor, as you know that the thyristor can be turned off with the help of a single pulse, whereas in a full wave controller with RL load, a pulse signal is not enough. This is because when thyristor T2 is triggered at pi plus alpha, the current through the thyristor T1 is non-zero, which prevents the thyristor from turning off. At beta plus alpha, the current through the thyristor T1 becomes 0. But at this time, the pulse signal in T2 for thyristor for firing would have been 0 if it is a pulse signal. Hence, a continuous gating signal is used in the case of RL load. Now, again, we have discussed the integral cycle control. We have discussed phase control. Now again, we will move towards the on-off control or integral cycle control. The diagram will be same, but what we have to do here, we have to give supply voltage of AC voltage, and at load terminal we will get AC voltage. But here what we have to do, we have to make for a certain period or certain amplitude, we have to make turn on cycles, and for another some cycles we have to make it off. So here we can see here that the first waveform is shown by a total voltage supply. We have provided Ig1 and Ig2, that is the gate pulses of T1 and T2. So you can observe when the thyristor T1 will conduct, it will behaves like a half wave rectifier. So only you will get only a positive half cycle. When T2 will conduct, you will have a negative half cycle. Again, positive half cycle, negative half cycle, positive half cycle, and negative half cycle. For the 3 cycle, we have make the thyristor or the circuit on. We have make the circuit on, but let us say it's n cycle. We have make a circuit on for n cycle, and then again for 2 cycles, let us make it the whole circuit off. Let us make whole circuit off, and the reason we can assume M. Then again for 3 cycle we are making it on. So overall we can say the amplitude is reduced. Okay, how? Due to the omission of off cycle, the energy within that cycle is suppressed, so we cannot get that energy at the load terminal. So the allowed energy at load terminal will be somehow less than that of a input terminals. The load power can be controlled by connecting the source to the load for a few complete cycles, then disconnecting the source from the load for another number of cycles. In here we have make it the 3 on cycles and 2 off cycles, and repeating the switching cycle, suitable for system with large time constants. There are in certain industrial applications which have the large time constant. Average power to the load can be varied from 0 to 100% of integral cycle control. Finds application in heating loads for a motor speed control. Now single phase AC voltage controller using RL load. What will happen? We have already discussed it for the R load, but if we are going for discussing about the L load, what will happen? The voltage supply waveform is shown in figure. The pulses Ig1 and Ig2 is as per a waveform. Now, if we are thinking about output current, let us assume that at T1 is triggered at alpha. Let us forget about the period shown before alpha. We will look at it later, but let us start from alpha, that IT1 or the current through thyristor 1 will rise up slowly due to the force due to the effect of inductive load. Then it will gradually increasing at pi. In actual, if there would be only resistive load, then it will be 0, but due to the inductor it will not become 0 at a pi. It will start now reducing from pi to a certain angle beta as you can see in the waveform. Okay, then again the reverse cycle will continue. The T1 will be off and T2 will be on, or T1 will be in the reverse bias and T2 will be in the forward bias. So in the reverse cycle we can start from beta at some angle pi plus alpha. The T2 will start conducting. It will also turning off at pi plus alpha plus some angle, let us call the gamma. So it will turn off at a pi plus alpha plus gamma. Again 2 pi plus alpha, the T1 will start conducting. So the load current waveform you can show as shown in the figure. You can see as shown in the figure. Now what would be the output voltage? The output voltage will be looking like this. When the load current will be reversed, there would be a little output current you may observe. Then it is not fully start. The thyristor load current will not start. That is why the voltage output will be a 0. Then again at alpha terminal the full voltage will be shown, the Vm sin omega t. So Vm will be fully appears at output voltage. When at reaching pi there will be a conduction continues up till the pi plus at a beta angle. Then again beta to pi plus alpha, there will be nothing will be conduct. Then again for pi plus alpha the reverse T2 will be conduct, and so on. So you can observe the voltage across thyristor 1 and thyristor 2 is also shown in the figure. So this is the diagram, circuit diagram and waveform for single phase AC voltage controller using RL load. Okay, during 0 to pi T1 is forward bias. At alpha T1 is triggered and current start building up through the load. At 180 degree loads and source voltage are 0. Current is not 0 because of the presence of inductance in the load circuit, what we have discussed. At beta greater than 180 degree or beta greater than pi, load current reduced to 0. After pi, T1 is reverse bias but does not turn off because of load current is not 0. At beta only, when load current is 0, T1 is turned off as it is already reverse bias. From beta to 180 degree plus alpha, no current exists in the power circuit, so output voltage will 0. Thyristor T2 is turned on at pi plus alpha, which is greater than beta. Current start building up in the reverse direction through the load. At 360 degree, source voltage and load voltage are 0, but load current is not 0. You may draw a diagram and waveform in your notebook. That is why you can understand what I am reading now. At 180 degree plus alpha plus gamma, current becomes 0 and T2 is turned off because it is already reverse bias. At 360 plus alpha, no current exists in the power circuit and output voltage is 0. Voltage across thyristor appears only when both of them are in the off state. In this state, positive voltage appears across thyristor if it is forward bias and not conducting. Negative voltage appears across thyristor if it is reverse bias and not conducting. If any one thyristor is on, voltage drop across both on and off thyristor is 0 because of this parallel connection or voltage drop. Now one more new topic, AC voltage controller with PWM control. Now yes, you know guys what is PWM. That is a pulse width modulation, isn't it? Now what they have employed in the circuit, we have shown the two AC voltage controller which are shunted, as you can see in the figure. That the first one you can see S1 and S2, and in the second pair, that is S3 and S4, the load is RL load. The waveform will be given by S1 in figure. You will observe the output current within that due to the effect of load inductance. Let us draw it in a separate notebook. The performance of AC voltage can be improved by PWM controller. The circuit for a single phase AC voltage controller with PWM control is shown in figure. It consists of 4 switches S1, S2, S3 and S4 we have discussed. Here all the switches are get commutated devices, namely MOSFET, IGBT, etc. During the positive half cycles, S1 and S2 are operated, and during the negative half cycle, S2 and S4 are operated. During the intermolten periods within a positive half cycle, S1 is open, S3 conducts and freewheeling current flows through the inductive load. Similarly, S4 conductors for freewheeling current during negative half cycles. What are the advantages of AC voltage controller? In PWM, the power loss in the switching device is very low. The PWM works also well with the digital control because of their on-off nature and easily set the needed duty cycle. PWM can be used to improve the input power factor and reduce the harmonics. It is suitable or it is susceptible to EMI. Sometimes even produce audible noise. Its circuit added the complexity. Okay. PWM is the best technique for controlling the electric motor speed. PWM has also been used in communication circuits. So, if you have any questions, you can ask in your comment box of your video, our video. And in next presentation, we will have a look towards the cycloconverters. The cycloconverters will the family member of AC voltage controller, but what we have observed here, the AC voltage controller can convert the AC to AC voltage without change in frequency, while the cycloconverter will control the AC to AC voltage controller with a variable frequency. Okay, thank you.